time of the week again.
Confident now, sure, I got this. But then if you keep asking me if I'm confident or if I've got this, like I'm gonna continuously, it's gonna my confidence level is gonna drop. Nice.
Oh no, it's not working.
Yeah, it's because you used the fucking green screen. Take the green screen off.
I can't while we're recording.
Yeah, aloha, my guy.
Aloha,
Right?
bruh.
Yeah, dude.
What's that?
It is October 9th as of recording this. We are halfway through Halloween season. And,
Yes.
buddy,
That
let
did
me
not
tell
work
you.
like I wanted to.
Hey, the
Sorry.
vibes were there, dude. The vibes were there. It's okay. It doesn't matter. The vibes were there.
Well, I went with the. See, I told you I'd switch it. Went with. Do you know what?
That's the North Star, man. Yeah.
It's not the North Star.
That's the solar eclipse. Yeah.
That right there.
That is Dead Space.
That is the Ishimura.
Yeah. I like that. What did they name the ship Ishimura for? What was it?
The SS Minnow Johnson. I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't pay enough attention to the story for like why we were out there. I did download it though. So, and I've been playing it. I've been playing the hell out of it because, yeah, man, I've had it for a whole week now.
You don't know why they're there?
Yeah, I know why we're there. We're saving his wife because his wife got stranded on the ISS.
It's not. Well, no, that's not why the mission was there. That he volunteered to be on the mission because his wife, his girlfriend, was there.
Now, why were they in space? I don't know.
Why were they going there? Which is part of the game and why it unravels with the marker and all that.
Is
and
Dead Space
necromorphs?
Is the Dead Space a precursor to Halo?
Not even in the same fucking universe, bro.
But I mean, like, if we did a fanfic, right?
No.
Maybe that's like maybe
Are you talking about the flood?
Yeah, like maybe the fanfic is like they discovered the remnants of the flood, or it could be like I
love Dead Space, dude.
What comes before something? A prelude.
Prequel?
A prequel. Maybe prelude. It's a prequel. The prelude to like the flood, right? Maybe they discover the flood.
Precursor was right.
Yeah.
But it just depends on it depends on when Halo takes place versus when Dead Space takes place.
Well, no, because they have some pretty advanced tech on that ship too. So, like that would be my thing. I think it could work either way. It could be one of those things where like Halo. Wait, no, because the flood came like way early.
Dead Space takes place in 2508.
Okay, it's not too distant future, buddy. We're gonna be living it pretty soon.
Way so far away.
I mean, of course, there's 4 generations or 4 millennia before we get there, but
Halo 1 takes place in 2552.
That's pretty close. That's pretty close together, dude. So theoretically, it would have to be Dead Space takes place before Halo.
Yeah, but it doesn't make any sense because, like,
okay, the way
you're trying to fit a triangle peg into an octagonal circle.
Yeah, because the flood, I think, predates Halo. Like the flood's been there for a long time, right? It was created to basically wipe humanity.
You don't pay attention.
I listened. I've listened to some stuff.
Anyways, the whole point of Dead Space, they're going there. It's a mining ship, but they find the fucking marker, and then the marker is like this religious artifact, and it's like, oh, the necromorphs. God damn, it's so good. I'm.
But then where do they come?
So irritated, and like I'm gonna get on my soapbox real quick, and we're gonna get to like actual hot like.
Okay.
If there's 2 parts at play.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think the remake is unbelievable. Right, it's so good. I was incredibly thrilled with how well it turned out. All the quality of life changes. I mean, I beat it 3 times. That's how much I loved it.
I'm halfway through it right now, so.
You're not. And it's just irritating because I think EA set the bar too high for like their expectation of sales. They probably set some ungodly number that was unachievable.
Probably,
And based on that, we'll never get a remake of 2. 2 and 3 deserve remakes. I always thought the first game was the best. 2 sort of went into like a little bit more action, like set PC, and then 3 is just a full-on co-op shooter. 3 was fun. I liked all 3 of them, but the first one's still the best. But we'll probably never get a remake of 2 because
of
this
arbitrary number
well, because the number was
bars.
too high, but also because not enough fucking people actually bought it and played it. Even if they didn't make that number, there still wasn't enough fucking people to play it. And it's just like you guys like bitch and moan about you guys is the plural
Yeah,
about like, Horizon Zero Dawn getting a remake and, The Last of Us getting ported a bunch of times and Resident Evil and all these other fucking games that don't deserve
so they
remakes.
quit buying those then.
And like the one that actually does and benefited greatly from it and the series could, then benefit greatly from. No one bought it. No one
I
paid
can
for it.
see
Like,
that
it's
studio
irritating.
like taking it on themselves though. Didn't they take Dead Space remake on themselves? They were like, hey, let's.
EA Motive? No, they're working on Iron Man now, and it's just like,
I do like Iron Man, but at the same time,
yeah, but I don't give a fuck.
I
And
don't
like,
like
listen,
Marvel
after,
video games. I don't like them.
I mean, I do, but I enjoy Marvel video games way more than I enjoy the MCU. But
That's fair, I guess.
um, but not all Marvel video games. Like Marvel Rivals is not my thing. I'm not into Overwatch. But the whole point of that is that I don't know. I lost my train of thought.
It's the
Oh,
whole point.
EA Motive.
Yeah.
Because after playing that, I'm like, oh
What?
man, they're going to do a really good job with Iron Man because the way that Isaac's suit moves and stuff, and the way they were able to do a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the first game came out in like 2008, so you're talking like 15 years of technology advancements from a gaming standpoint that
Which is like
really
leaps
like
and
showed itself.
bounds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which really showed itself, and I'm just so like there's so many things in the last 10 years in the gaming industry in general that just irritate me that I will never forgive the public for. And like that's one of them. And the other one is that not enough people played Prey, so much so that like Microsoft then buys the studio, forces them to make Redfall, and then shuts down one of the best gaming studios in
Yeah.
the business.
After
Like
they
that's another thing.
after they forced them to like basically put out an unfinished game and an unpolished game, and they're like, it was your fault clearly.
Yeah,
This is
and
clearly your fault. We're gonna shut you down
but
now.
that's another one. It's like everybody like craves unique things, and like I'm not gonna like toot my own horn here, but like I'm there, man. Like I'm like, oh, this looks cool. Like how many games have I suggested to you or sent to you? And I'm like, a lot, especially
Sometimes.
Inscription. Like it's another one that's
Yeah.
just like,
I
is
just
it
drag
the
my
greatest
feet a
game
lot.
ever?
I mean,
Well, that's fine, but like the
is
greatest game
Inscription
of
the
all time?
greatest
No.
game of all
Is
time?
it unique and weird and like it gets its hooks in you really
Top
quick?
10
Yeah,
game for sure. Yeah.
absolutely. Control. I was so weird. I was talking to Frederick the other day, and we were talking like he wants to play Control, and he just hasn't
Yeah.
played it. And I'm like, dude, Control's amazing, and Control, Inscription, and Prey are probably the last. Like I've loved a lot of games, but like those are the last 3 games that like I finished and thought about when I was done. Because like a lot of times you're just like, I'm trying to get to the end of it. Okay, cool, I've completed it. Whatever. Let's move on to the next one.
Yeah.
Like those are the last 3 games that I played where I like thought about it after I was done. I was just like, oh my god. Like Ghost of Tsushima was one that I didn't appreciate when I played, but it was
Yeah.
after the fact that I was like, man, what a great fucking game that was, and like the combat and stuff. But like those 3 games, and it's just like everybody just like I don't know, dude. It's irritating
You can't.
because
You can lead a horse to water,
absolutely trust
but you
me, I
can't.
know,
You can't force a drink.
I
Yeah, that's me.
absolutely
I
know.
am the horse in this situation. Because that's my part. My problem is that I drag my feet. Like you'll tell me about a game. One in particular is the Plucky Squire recently, right? Shouts out to the Plucky Squire. It's such a phenomenal piece of game, like and just gaming design. Like the game design on it's like just crazy. I haven't played it personally. Watch somebody play it, and then also watch my son play it. My son's in love with it. Like he loves it so much.
Right.
And it's just like to go from like 2D to 3D and like how just awesome it looks. Like it's such a fun little game. It's such a cute little game. It's fun. So
It's not very Halloweeny though.
no, no, it's not. But hey, you know,
We um we don't really talk about our local area
yeah,
very
we
much
really
as far
haven't
as
talked about it a lot.
first of all, I should say, I guess like thoughts to the people in Asheville. I've spent many a days in Nashville, many a nights in Nashville or Asheville, plenty of concerts in Asheville, and like absolutely devastated with
It's
a
good to see that they're
flood.
recovering finally, though. You know,
Yeah, it's good to know that you can be 300 and some miles away from an ocean and still get hit with a hurricane. It's
and
almost like
there's nothing
it sucks
abnormal
that climate
about
change
it.
isn't real. But
Yeah,
anyways, but like the fucked up part is that like that was supposed to hit us,
yeah. This
and
was
then
like
like
really crazy. It is honestly like a weird spur of events where like we were sitting
it
here
just it
in the
happened.
direct path, in the
Yeah, and
direct
then it
path.
just
At the very
happened to
last
like
second, they
move.
were like, Actually, I'm gonna go over here and see what Asheville's all
Yeah.
about. You know?
But like there's little towns and shit all like close to us and in North Carolina that are just like obliterated, gone. Like they're
Yeah.
gone. Like there's nothing left.
Literal chunks of the interstate are gone. Like,
Yeah, like you can't even get into parts of North Carolina and stuff because the road and it's just like damn. Like what do you do?
yeah,
Every,
it's almost like we're all gonna end up being climate refugees at some point. You know, it's kind of crazy. I don't know, but
yeah, and it's just
it's a
like
new
you spent
term, a new
we just spent
fun
the
term. You know?
we just spent the first 8 minutes bitching about a video game.
Yeah.
Um
Honestly, when you
'cause
think
those
about it, it's pretty tough. You know?
yeah, those are the things that I would rather talk about because of the things that like actually bring me joy. But we don't really talk about our local area very often as far as just like we don't really dox ourselves. People who know us, but like if
Yeah.
a stranger comes across, they don't really like I don't really like telling people where I live because it's like it doesn't really matter. But in doing so, I'm going to contradict my previous statement and say that like we're going to talk about because it is spooky season. We're like right in the thick of it now.
Hell
I'm going to
yeah.
talk about all of the haunted places, spooky places in our area and in our state in general.
They say all of
So
them. Do you mean all of them? All of them? Because I feel like
I don't
there's
mean all of
probably
them. I mean,
like
there's a lot, but like
quote
first off,
unquote a
like
lot. You know?
first thing off the bat is that it's extremely disappointing that where we live in a fairly big city. It's one of the big three cities of the state. You know,
Yeah.
it's represented on the fucking state flag,
Some
one of
would
the
say
stars.
one of the only three states in Tennessee. So
I mean cities.
cities, yeah. What did I say?
Well,
States?
I don't know. Well, if you look at the state flag of Tennessee, there's three stars: Memphis, Nashville, and Knoxville. It's what represents west, middle, and east.
Yeah.
Anywho, there's not a lot of haunted stuff around here, at least anything that I know of.
There's
Um,
yeah, that's the thing, man. It's all like if you were wanting to get like truly like Knoxville related haunts or whatever, I feel like those are all personal. Like it's like a guy you meet down the
I
road and he's
mean, the
like, "Yeah, I
South
got
has a
this
lot
really
of
scary shack," you know.
the South has a lot of history in terms of
Yeah.
like the Civil War,
Yeah, yeah, we do.
and that's where like a lot of I love that just like this just went away. That's great. Anyways,
Yeah, man.
stop with the ads, bro.
Just flashbanging. You're
Jesus.
flashbanging at everybody right now.
Anyways, do you remember where we used to work?
Yeah.
At Jacob's Engineering.
Do
It's
not
where we
anymore.
met.
Are we allowed to say that? I guess we don't work there anymore. It's been
We
what?
do we haven't worked
It'll
there in
be literally 6 years as of when this episode
yeah.
comes out that I left personally. So that's probably past
No,
its
you've
actually.
already left because I left.
Well, like my 6 year
I left in
anniversary comes up.
October and I was hired at my new job on November 11th,
You
2019.
didn't. You got out because I
I
started.
was unemployed for 5 weeks
Okay, yeah. Wait,
because I got the severance package that
but
you
Yeah,
declined.
that's right. I left the year before, so you're talking next October.
You're
Because
I was
my 6 year anniversary at my current job is literally tomorrow.
so you left 6 years ago.
Yeah,
I left five.
yeah. Because that's the way
Yes,
time works. Yeah,
that's the way time works,
yeah. Because
buddy.
that was because
Anyways,
I left
do you
before you.
remember?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so like there's the pizza shop that was beside us.
Big Ed's.
But if you go down to like if you're looking at the front, Big Ed's is on the left corner. If you go down to the right, because
Hmm.
I would go on walks and stuff right in front of the square,
Yeah, yeah,
there's that building over on the right hand side that's an old folks home.
yeah. Hmm.
Do you remember vaguely? No, you don't. Anyways, it's called the
Yeah.
Alexander Inn, right? Um, the Alexander Inn, otherwise known as the Guest House. Oh my gosh, warning. What is going on?
You
No,
got one of those shady websites, my guy.
dude. I'm on Knox News, my guy.
Yeah, it's a shady website, buddy. You know, it happened.
This is terrible. This is great,
It's called
bro.
it's called the outhouse. Is what I heard.
Mhm. No, it's called the Guest
The guest
House.
house. There we go.
The inn first opened in the 1940s and housed several members involved in the World War II Manhattan Project, including Robert Oppenheimer himself. So, Cillian Murphy stayed there.
Yeah, he was there. He came to Oak
It fell into
Ridge.
disrepair in the 1990s before getting renovated and reopening as a senior living home. The haunted aspects of the location have been investigated by local paranormal services, but it is unclear how truly spooky it is. Legend says that some ghosts, though, stories tell of visitors seeing blood on the walls, hearing footsteps, or spotting someone looking out the windows. It is now privately operated, so ghost hunters are not allowed on the premises.
Sounds like they're trying to keep the truth from people. Is what it is.
Yeah, keeping the truth out. There's the Baker Peters house in Knoxville. Heading west into Knoxville, one of the buildings that stands out from the rest is the Baker Peters house. Built in 1830, the house was used as a Confederate supporter Dr. James Harvey Baker, and he died in 1863 when the Union soldiers raided his house.
Yeah, good
Baker's
riddance. Am I right, guys?
Baker's son Abner was fighting the war at the time, but was later hanged by an angry mob in downtown Knoxville for shooting the former Union soldier named William Hall. In the late 19th
I wonder if
century,
that's who the town is named after.
George Peters purchased a
Hmm.
house. It is currently the site of the Finn's Restaurant and Tavern. However, past tales of the house being haunted involve unexplained noises, voices, whistling, and laughter, lights turning on and off, glasses flying off racks. With dead Confederate supporter looming over it, the house has become a historical landmark in Knoxville. Finn's offers ghost tours of the house, with one coming up on October 22nd.
We really do need to go to like some
I had that in my
haunting.
I've we should take a local haunted
Is
tour
there a local
of the
haunted? I'm
city.
sure there's got to
Yes,
be.
there is.
Okay.
There is. There's a. It's literally like haunted Knoxville or visit Knoxville, whatever.
Let's get them on the pod.
Um,
That way we get a free trip. That'd be sick. Really got to save cash.
um, dude, I can't read this website. It just keeps popping up, bro. Like I don't know.
You got to pay the bills, you know? Honestly, when you think about it. Shouts out Knox News. You got to pay the bills. I understand.
One of them was the Bijou Theater. Um,
Is it? What is the Bijou Theater? I keep hearing about this, and it's like it's like it's been here my whole life, so I don't know
yeah,
what
I
it is.
mean,
I've
I've
never
seen
been.
I've seen I've seen concerts there.
I don't think I've ever been.
It's been everything from a hotel to a brothel to a theater. It was a Civil War hospital.
That's the thing, man. I
Um,
think that a lot of buildings, like the longer your building stands, right? Clearly,
mhm.
as more people die in it, it's gonna get all this energy just stuck in it, and eventually, like it's yeah. I think that. So I think really, if you're trying to create ghost hauntings, you really got to pull kind of like the haunting of Connecticut style house, where you just got to pile the bodies in the wall. You know, you've got to more bodies equals more energy equals more spirits. So you know,
Yeah.
so I think
Now,
yeah, anything old's probably gonna have something residual hanging out in it.
speaking of old, do you know the oldest town, the registered town, official town in the state of Tennessee?
Part of me wants to say Franklin. Something like there's something like Franklin's jumping out to me.
Well, Franklin was going to be the name of the state.
Franklin was going to be the name of the Tennessee.
Hmm.
Disgusting. First of all, I could not.
There's a
Oh yeah,
there's
where
an
do you live? Oh, Knoxville, Franklin. That's ugh. I
yeah,
spit on
that was
that. Get that hell out of here.
1700s. Anyways, you don't know.
I don't know. No.
It's Jonesboro.
Okay, so it's like the place named after
That was
Jonestown,
no.
the
It was
infamous.
founded in 1779.
Okay, so it's a little bit before Jonestown.
17 years before Tennessee was actually admitted as a state in 1796. It was named after Willie Jones, a North Carolina legislator who supported the westward expansion over the Appalachian
Dude, that
Mountains.
is, okay, wait, can we take a sidebar real quick? Okay,
Hmm.
I don't mean to interrupt you again. You're in the middle of
There
your
you go.
article read here, but it's like to think back to the 1700s, right? Imagine we go back in a way back machine, right? Well, we're obviously we have medicine with us. Okay, we have weapons that we can use to defend ourselves. But like at one point, there was just 13 colonies, and the
Hmm.
rest of that, the rest of all that west, which is land. I mean, okay,
Yeah,
yeah, there are people there, sure,
sure. Yeah.
okay, but
Those are called natives.
yeah, I mean, okay, yeah, sure, they were here first, technically, but just like the
There's
imagine,
no technically with quotes. That's the fact.
hey,
This is
buddy,
coming out.
all
This comes
right,
out the week of Columbus Day,
sounds
which we've
sounds like you're
we've already gotten
trying
rid of, by
to.
the way. Indigenous People Day was this past Monday. So
Sounds like you're speaking a little bit of revisionist history right now. Okay, I need you to calm it down with all those. Like you're making us kind of look bad a little bit. Okay, but
I,
I
di-
just
I
like
didn't. I wasn't part of it.
that's fair. I wasn't either. Yeah, I was like,
Wasn't alive, my
that's
guy.
that's why I don't understand like this guilt that people like we can admit it and move on, but hey, it's whatever. But it's just like the thought of having all that extra land is just like it's insane. Like like now it's all like cities and stuff, and we took a bunch of land from people and
Absolutely.
but it's
Have
crazy.
you ever been to Jonesboro?
I have not. Where is it at even? It sounds like it would be in Virginia,
It's right
honestly,
outside of
but
John City.
oh, okay. That's why I feel like I know that before. Like you said,
Mhm.
Johnson City, right? Yeah, I've been to Johnson City before. I feel like it's got the same kind of vibes as
Well,
Jonesboro.
it mm, Johnson City's a city. Jonesboro's a town.
Yeah, it feels like it's got the same vibes though.
Where you grew up has a smaller population than Jonesboro. I think it's like 5,000 people is registered.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's fair. Okay,
Anyways,
so
like
it's
Jonesboro,
big.
so Jonesboro every year has they have a big like reading festival in October, and they sort of like really like lean into not I wouldn't say they lean into the spooky aspect of it, but like there's all sorts of shady shit that went on back in the day. Like I remember growing up that one of my dad's friends there's a house which I'll probably get to in a minute. There's a house that you could have he stayed in it. It's but now it's like a historic. There's like a historical marker. It was like an old like inn.
Hmm.
And there was like he would reported sleeping in the inn and like someone was pulling the covers back
Yeah,
while he was there.
trying to get a little tickle. Am I right? Yeah, it's like, hey,
There's I think in the inn I can't I'll read when I get to it, but these are just stories that I was told growing up. There's a room in that inn that it stays locked all the time. I think because either there was a kid that died in there or the wife died,
there's.
something like that.
I feel like every hotel has that story of
Yeah,
like, oh, a kid jumped out the window here. Like the
yeah,
3 Minute a Baby, right, or whatever the hell that movie was. I'm not
right.
gonna lie though, legit. Like, now that I think about it, that's the question I have later on in the episode. But like, I think I just remembered the earliest time I got scared by, but not. I guess technically this was not a scary movie, but oh man. Anyways,
Um, no, it's just like those are some of the stories I know that like of course Ben Franklin had spent time there.
I want to stay the
And
night in a haunted hotel for sure.
you always say that, but I think you would shit
But
yourself.
that's the thing is like, I feel like I have the mental capacity to talk
You
myself
don't.
down now, right?
You
Where
don't.
it's like I do think that I would
The
have
first time you were sitting there, by the way, and you're in there, and because then like your mind starts to play tricks on you
yeah, that's the
because then
thing. It's like
you want something to happen. So like you hear a noise, and then like it's just like psychology. You're just like,
okay, there's
okay,
definitely something
and
to
then
breathe on the back of my neck right now. Like you're just talking
right.
yourself into it. That's why I think I want to do it just to see, because my luck. I went ghost hunting one time in my life,
Mhm.
and it was I went with shouts out Shelby's uncle. We went Matt. We went to me and her cousin, and Matt went to our old middle school because like apparently there's been strange phenomena that happen there. But I mean, a lot of the times you have a bunch of kids in one place, it gets a lot of energy and whatnot, and like that's how you can also get hauntings, etc. But the whole thing is like we went and like yeah, it was spooky, but like nothing happened. And it was very disappointing. And it's like I
I
feel
think
like
you're just
that's
jealous
kind
that
of
I've
it.
actually had things happen to me.
I am, and I want that. Like give me
I'll
that.
get to one of those because some people have already heard it because we talked about it. I'm pretty sure our
That was our
first or
first Halloween
second
episode. Yeah.
was it.
Yeah, because the first one we did was like the best, arguably. It was the scariest too, because like some like the we legit caught a weird sound. I don't know. Uh,
Um, Anyways,
yeah.
so do you know the Nolichucky River? No.
Wow. The no. Okay. Weird synchronicity here. I was just talking to my friend Samantha. Shouts out to Samantha. She lives in near the Nola Chucky River because she said it today, literally like 20 minutes, 30 minutes ago, and I was like, that's a made up name. That's a made up name for a river.
It's
This is
not.
like twice in one day within like a span of an hour of each other that
Yeah.
have mentioned that I need to go to that river now. So
So there's a witch.
let's fucking go. I
Okay.
love witches, honestly.
Okay.
We need more.
Let me read this story. So this is a story that's been told since it happened in 1885. There was a rolling store that came through, and one of them was a traveling salesman that had
Gandalf.
everything from liniment oil to overalls to perfume. What?
Gandalf. Yeah.
He'd come by here and we'd buy a few things and send him down to the next farm over. When he left there, it was getting late and the farmer invited the salesman to spend the night, but he wanted to get further on his way. The farmer told the man about a cave near the Nolichucky along the way the man was traveling. About 4 hours later, a bit before midnight, here comes driving up the main path from the farmer's house the rolling wagon and the horse
But
with a
no
wild look in his
salesman.
eyes. The farmer took off on horseback. Yeah, I guess they left out that part, right? Towards the direction he'd sent the salesman. The moon was bright, and he could see ahead along the banks the figure of a man lying on the ground. The farmer got off his horse and went to the man, who just lay there with his eyes staring blankly into the night sky. We had all heard about the witch out there that drove the man mad, but never believed in her until now. As he reached down to the salesman, he heard a sweet voice. He'll be all right. Turn around and talk to me. I haven't had company in a long time.
Bro, I mean, like, I want to keep a serious tone, but she just sucked him dry. Is what happened. Like, she was,
Yeah.
yeah.
He said, "No, I won't." And the farmer knew from the stories that what drove the men mad was the look in the witch's eyes. So he told
Yeah,
her, "I
he's
just want to
smart.
help him and be on my way." And then she spoke even sweeter. "Sit a while and talk with me, please," she said, and he felt a cold, bony finger touch his shoulder. He froze, determined not to turn around, and just then, as the breeze called in the trees and the moon glowed into his face, he turned to look at the moon, and when he did, there was her face.
Damn,
He
he fucked
thought
up.
for one moment to look away, but it was the last sane thought he had ever had. And so 2 days later, a traveler found the two men laying on the ground, eyes fixed up to the sky, with all of the sense drained out of them. They never ever came out of it. So
Damn.
apparently
So
there's a
like,
witch that
why
lives in
would
the
you?
cave.
Okay, so he turned around to look at the moon and fucked up and was like looking straight down. I don't get it, but it's fine. It's like, or maybe she's like really tall. Oh yeah, I guess I didn't think about that. Like, maybe she's like, he's like sketched her
So
face,
one
but
of the things about Jonesboro too, that house is not on there yet, but Andrew Jackson frequented the area, president,
from
whatever.
what I understand, it's like that guy fucking sucked.
Yeah, but he's from Tennessee, so
Yeah,
like,
but I've also heard he's
but he
like,
was there a lot. But there was also like in that same house
mhm.
there. But this is not just my dad. This is like growing up. This was the story. Like if you go down at a certain time and you're walking the streets of Jonesboro at night and you look into this house, sometimes you can see what looks like Andrew Jackson in the top, holding a candle. I don't know why he's not dead. He didn't die there. I mean, he is dead, but he didn't die there.
That's the thing too. Is like
So
there's a lot of I can't. Okay, so I say a lot of instances. I can't name a bunch. I can't name any really, but like there you do hear tales of like people who died but then go back to places they frequented for some reason, and it's like I don't know if that's how ghosts work technically speaking. Like I don't know. I'll let you know whenever I become one because I'm clearly gonna
yeah,
become one. I'm gonna do my best to become a ghost when I die, and it's gonna be fucking rad. Uh, but like that does happen, I suppose. Is like people like for some reason like spirits will get attached to a place, and so when they die, they just go back. So
right. There's also this place called the Howley House, and there's apparently giggling girls of Howley House.
the sound
Um,
of giggling children or giggling like little girls, the most terrifying thing you can hear at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
so Marcy Howley owns and operates a bed and breakfast in Jonesboro. It is the oldest residence in Tennessee's oldest town, on lot number one, built in 1790. It wasn't always a bed and breakfast, but it has always been a place where people have lived or stayed. She says that she has had the visitors tell her, only male visitors, that on some nights, especially when the train is going by, they hear giggling girls or women in the late hours of the night. Her female patrons have never heard them. The giggling women are, of ill repute, basically. Um, Marcy has never heard them herself, but many of her guests have heard the ghost giggling women. So far, they have never scared anyone off. Um, but like, there's an entire. If you ever want to check it out, if you're ever interested, there's a website called what is this? Jonesboro, but it's BROUGH .org, and is the whole history of all the things that have happened
Let's go there.
to
Let's go there next. How far away is it?
Jones Jonesboro. It's
Oh, I guess it's like Johnson City area.
hour
That's
and a
probably
half,
like an hour
hour
and a
and a half,
half.
2 hours.
We
Yeah.
can make it like easily an hour. You know.
Um, yeah, it was the lost state of Franklin, basically from 1784 to 1790. Tennessee was sort of referred to as Franklin, not Tennessee proper. Um,
Yeah.
Obviously, Andrew Jackson.
Yeah. Rest in piss, my guy. Yeah. Piece of
Rest
shit.
in peace.
Yeah,
Um,
I've heard that he's not a good guy. He was not. He was.
there's not very many of those people that were good
Yeah,
by today's standards.
granted, right, and like that's the thing too is like,
The Chester Inn, that's it. There it is. I
okay,
knew it'd come up.
fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah. The Chester Inn is the oldest building, original to Jonesboro's commercial district. William Chester, a medical doctor, constructed the building in 1797 to capitalize on those traveling through Jonesboro along the stage road. Now fully restored, the wooden frame building is owned by the state of Tennessee and is in a state historic site. Many famous guests have stayed there during its successful days of operation, including President Andrew Jackson, Andrew Johnson, James K. Polk. And during one of Andrew Jackson's stays, he helped fight a fire nearby. At another visit, Andrew Jackson was reportedly threatened with tarring and feathering by John Severe's supporters. Um,
Is John Severe a
so,
good guy or bad guy? I don't remember.
depends what side you're on.
I don't. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, which one? Well, you know which side was the bad guys.
Well, like also in that area too, there's the John Sevier Highway. So like I know quite a bit of history of like that area,
Mhm.
between, Bristol and all and John City, Kingsport, all that shit, because that's where I spent a lot of time. Um, but now that my other one got destroyed, this other article, I gotta fucking find it real quick. Here we go.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess there's two famous ones of Tennessee in proper, if you know off the top of their head. Do you know them?
Bell Witch
Yeah, that's the one that
and the
everybody
I guess the
goes
Bell
to.
Witch Cave. And like, yeah, that's the thing. Is like she.
The Bell Witch Cave. I would consider those.
I think that she has the most lore out of anybody from like out of any like scary stories out of
Hmm.
Tennessee, just because like it is a compelling tale. I think last podcast on the left did a whole series on the Bell Witch, and it's like the story when you break it down does sound kind of like a con man making a thing because he's like really out on money. But I don't think they ever technically made any money or charged money to see the Bell Witch or talk to the Bell Witch. But yeah, it's a pretty popular one. She
I'm
wasn't.
trying to I'm trying to find where that's at. Okay, the Bell Witch Cave in Adams, Tennessee.
Yeah.
One of, if not the most famous ghost stories from Tennessee has got to be the tale of the Bell Witch. Even those who are not particularly interested in the paranormal know this story. The Bell Witch was said to have murdered John Bell and also tormented his entire family with poltergeist style activity for several years. At one point, the terror was so intense that President Andrew Jackson, there's that guy again,
God damn, dude. Like
refused to stay at the Bell House overnight.
he's a little
This malicious
bitch.
spirit, this malicious spirit, you gotta understand though, bro. Back in like the early
That's when
1800s,
they truly
they're only
believe
like
that shit
they're only
too.
like 110 years removed from the Salem witch trials. So like,
Yeah, and that's honestly
meh, 150.
a super tragedy. The Salem witch trials, fucking travesty, man. Like, come on, like we got to be
um,
better.
The malicious spirit is said to be that of an extremely wicked woman named Kate Batts. She was malevolent in her life and even more so in death, as evidenced by her
And that's
murderous
like,
ghosts.
that's how
She is
if you're
still
gonna,
said to
you got to
haunt the
lean in.
cave next to the farm.
Yeah,
Some of the
dude,
most commonly reported activity includes the sighting of strange looking animals, rattling of chains, and unexplained knocking.
man.
Oftentimes, you can hear screams from the cave.
Well, it's just teenagers. So
It's just teenagers. Um, this one is, I've never heard of this, is Hales Bar Marina and Dam, which is built along the Tennessee River in 1905 in
okay,
order to tame the natural whirlpool. The local natives were not happy with its construction and were said to have put a curse on the dam. Could this be why the structure is said to be one of the most haunted buildings in Tennessee? Visitors, staff, and paranormal groups have all reported a variety of paranormal activity, which includes Native American war cries, chanting, dark figures, and even an apparition of a little girl in a pink dress who is said to have drowned there. There you go. It is said
hell,
that her
I mean,
remains are
not
still
good.
trapped in the dam, which would explain why she has been unable to rest. I'm just going to keep going up from here. Chime in at any time. The Tennessee
Okay,
State Prison, which is in Nashville, and it looks, you can Google these if you want
wait a
to
minute, where's
look
that?
along.
Okay, oh, which list you looking at? I'm trying to fucking figure it out.
Here, I'll drop it in here.
Okay.
Chat. How does
Oh,
chat work?
Tennessee. I found it. We're good. We're good.
I
We're
got
good.
you. Here's
We're
the
good.
whole
We're
list. I'm at the very bottom because I did
good.
the
No,
village. So
no. It's gonna pop up on the screen. No, it's okay.
the Tennessee State Prison was built in 1898, and over the
It looks
years,
like
it
yeah, like you
was
said, it looks like a
it
haunted house.
looks
Yeah,
yeah.
that's like haunted for sure.
It was the operation that gained notoriety thanks to its several attempted breakouts, riots, and overcrowding.
The
It also
Green Mile. That Green
you,
Mile.
you're burying the lead here. It also became famous when it was used during the filming of both The Green Mile and Ernest Goes to Jail. Today it lies abandoned, but it is certainly not unoccupied. There are frequent reports of cell doors closing by themselves, cold spots, phantom footsteps, and even boot prints in
I
the dust
mean,
where no living person has walked. But
you
then
gotta
how
think.
would you know if no one's walked there? How do you see the footprints?
I mean, that's the thing. It's like it's a ghost footprint. So, but that's the thing too. Is like again, it's. I think that hopefully people are spotting a pattern now, right? Where it's like you lock a bunch of people up in one place, a lot of negative energy. It's gonna attach
Hmm.
itself, right? You put a bunch of dead bodies in the wall. That's a lot of negative energy. Like that's gonna like the spirits are gonna attach themselves. Like you put a bunch of kids in a school building. Like that's a lot of negative energy. It's gonna attach itself. Like it's so we can kind of suss out like okay, yeah, this place is probably haunted. Of course, there's gonna be like cell doors clanking and clanking. There's gonna be people still screaming in the showers. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna be one of those things. It's a lot of negative energy. So
The Orpheum Theater in Memphis is said to be haunted by the spirit of a little girl named Mary who died in some kind of accident on the nearby street. She has been hanging around in the theater for about 60 years now, even though the original building burned down in 1923 and was reopened in 1928.
I want to say
She is often seen in her favorite seat, C4, C5, and sometimes she is heard giggling while running up and down the aisles.
I want to say I don't know if I've been here before.
You've never been to Memphis, bro.
I, there's something
You
I've seen that like that they talk about this theater, and I don't know if it's like I've been there or if I've seen it.
you've
Like
never been to Memphis,
I don't
bro.
know, but all I know is like I think that maybe there's something similar that
Give me
happens
blow your
here.
mind real quick. This is like
Yeah.
a whole other thing. So, like, you know
Okay.
where Johnson City is.
Yes.
All right. It is, if you go in a straight
Oh, that's
line,
right. Yeah.
if you go in a straight line, you will get to Canada before you get to Memphis.
Yeah. Because we're such a
Which,
long state, dude.
there, people, and I don't think people realize that either. Like, I mean, you look at a map and you're like, oh, Knoxville to Nashville, that's not that far. It's fucking 3.5 hours,
Yeah.
and you lose, and you like gain an hour because the time changes, which is a whole different thing. We have the Pegram Family Cemetery. In 1970, a group of developers bulldozed an area along the Harpeth River while working on a housing development. However, in the process, they tragically destroyed the entire Pegram Family Cemetery. That's
When
never
is that?
good.
When does that not happen? When you're bulldozing, like,
That's capitalism, baby.
yeah, dude. Gotta
The
move
dirt from
on.
the land was sold as fill dirt across 2 counties. 5 years later, the water rose, and all of the homes built on the land that was once the cemetery were flooded.
Yeah, it's a curse. Yep, they got cursed.
During the flood, some coffins that had not been relocated floated to the surface.
Yep.
One in particular belonged to the town's very first postmistress, Carrie Pegram Heath. Since then, the town has had nothing but bad luck. It floods with some regularity, and its seemingly cursed land has had no end of financial hardships. There is an overall feeling of unrest and malice lingering in the air, and some of the homeowners have claimed to see tombstones appearing and disappearing in their gardens.
I mean,
Ooh.
yeah, dude. You'll unbury a bunch of people. You bulldoze their land. Yeah, you're setting up yourself for a curse for sure.
Now, this next one I have never been to, but I've seen it, and it is eerie. When you are like 10, 11, 12 years old, right? So, for anyone who doesn't know, my parents when met in Kingsport.
Hmm.
The area that this is called the Tri-Cities. It's Johnson City, Kingsport, and Bristol, and they're all within close proximity of each other. So they just kind of refer to like things as the Tri-Cities area. Now, Kingsport would be the one that's the furthest. Um, so like I have family in on like all that area and stuff. So like after my parents split, because like my parents met, moved to Washington D.C., did that whole thing, and then when I moved down with my dad when my parents got a divorce, my
Yeah.
mom would come in occasionally, and like for like weekend visits or whatever. So then like we had family, anyways, yada yada, et cetera, et cetera. So there's this house, this fucking creepy ass plantation looking house that like you're driving down in Kingsport, and it's sort of like off the beaten path. Like you go down like a highway, not an interstate, but you go down the highway. And it's over in the right, and there's like nothing near it, and it has always had that vibe of like, yeah, there's certain like even as like a 10, 11, 12-year old, you're like, yeah, there's a ghost in there for
Yeah, I'm
sure.
not going in there. Yeah, 100% not
Someone
going
was
in there.
murdered there,
Yeah,
and like it's a fenced in area, like you can't get to it, sort of thing. It's like, yeah, but apparently they have weddings and shit there too. But anyways, it's called the Rotherwood Mansion in Kingsport. It was
it's
built in 1818 by a wealthy reverend named Frederick Ross. He intended the home to be a sanctuary, but instead it became a place of despair. Ross's daughter Rowan had to
it's like the
watch
opposite of
helplessly.
what he was aiming for.
Yeah. Ross's daughter Rowena had to watch helplessly as her husband to be drowned in the nearby river on their wedding day. That's what it was. She became somewhat reclusive and seldom left the house. This is all coming back to me now. At last, she was ready to open her heart again, but this time her lover died of yellow fever within the first year of their marriage.
Damn.
10 years later, She then tried a third time to find love and even gave birth to a daughter of her own.
Oh, okay.
However, once again, she was left devastated when the girl died.
God damn,
Rowena
dude.
could take it no longer and drowned herself in the same river of her first love had also drowned in. Could it be that she was cursed? Is that why she still roams the property, always looking for true love? Later, the mansion was purchased by a cruel slave owner. There you go,
Damn,
who is
dude.
said to have tortured his slaves there. Did his evil deeds contribute to the hauntings? Many have said that he is to be blamed for the menacing presence that takes the form of a black dog.
I
There
mean,
have also
it
been
certainly didn't
reports of
help, I suppose. Like,
there have also been reports of laughter and of terrifying faces peering in the windows at night. Dude, I just got chill bumps because I'm telling you,
I don't like peering
before but
faces.
before I even knew any of that stuff, just the vibes. You talking about the vibes last week? The
Yeah.
vibes that this house put off just
Yeah, dude.
as a to a 10-year-old, 11-year-old, however old I was. Like it's creepy, bro. It's super
I want to
creepy.
go now, man. Damn. Like,
Um,
I want to go spooky places.
there is the Wetlands Plantation in Sevierville. The Wetlands Plantation has a long history that is marred by murder, death, and destruction. It is absolutely no surprise to those who know that the history that this house has been named one of the most haunted houses in Tennessee.
Okay.
This is not
Big.
the first.
It's a tall order. You know.
One of, not the. Um, the Bell Witch is probably the number one, right? This
Yeah.
is not the first house to stand here. The original house actually burned to the ground in 1825, claiming the lives of 4 children.
Damn, man.
This
God, a lot
probably
of kids
explains why there
dying.
are so many reports of childlike spirits in the basement of the new building. No thanks. I don't even like basements, bro. I
Although
don't
at the
like
same time, it's
basements,
like
bro.
I feel bad for them. So I kind of want to like go play with them. You know what I mean? Like it's like
I have I have claustrophobia. I don't like really tall, like small, like confined
I'm
spaces,
sure it's a
but
big
like
basement.
there's something. I
You're
think it's
underneath a
the
building. Like the idea like, oh, can I get out? Can I not get out? Like, are they gonna lock the doors?
because like with
Yeah,
my luck, it's like you're there
yeah.
and it crumbles and it falls, but you're not dead.
Oh,
So you're right. So you're
yeah.
left to like right. So that's where that's the fear that I
That
have.
is,
It's
I
not.
do like. I can't watch
It
people who
won't
do
be
the cave.
instantaneous and quick.
Oh yeah, I can't watch the people who do cave diving or like delving or
I'm
whatever. Like,
dude,
no, dude, no. That's there
like
is,
spelunking and shit.
yeah. Like,
My
hey,
throat tightens up, dude. I'm so
that is
uncomfortable.
one of those things that if my sons approached me and they're like, "Dad, we're gonna try this thing," I'd be like, "No, you're not." Like this is one of those situations. Like you can go do drugs, buddy. You're not doing that. Okay.
You can go do heroin, but don't go cave
You can
diving.
go smoke as many bowls as you want to, if it'll keep you from ever stepping foot in a cave and spelunking. Because I've heard way too many horror stories. My chest tightens every time I see a video. So and my thing is like I panic on roller coasters, right? If a roller coaster seat is too tight, I start to panic, right? Because
Yeah.
I start getting those thoughts where it's like, okay, my luck, this thing's gonna fucking break down, and I'm gonna be stuck with this really tight chest for hours, and I'm gonna die. So, ugh,
Also, on top of the 4 children, there is also a mass grave on the property, which is said to
those are
hold
always
the
fun.
remains. Yeah, it's said to hold the remains of 28 Cherokee natives, 2 Revolutionary War soldiers, and almost 70 slaves. There have also been more than 70 known murders on the property,
God
and some of the
damn,
walls are
dude.
still stained with blood to this day.
Sounds like some
It
sort of
is no
health
wonder.
violation. First of all,
Shoot,
that's
no
like,
thanks.
yeah, okay. Where's this again? We gotta go.
That's in Sevierville.
That's not that far away.
Home of Dolly Parton.
Yeah, it's not that far away. I bet she's been.
I doubt it. Rest Haven Memorial Gardens in Clarksville. If there
Okay.
was ever a location that fails to live up to its name, then surely has to be the Rest Haven Memorial Gardens. There is not much restful about this place as it is considered to be another one of the most haunted places in Tennessee. Nearby, you will find a house in which a brutal slave owner once resided. It is rumored that one of the slaves raped his daughter and then got her pregnant. The owner killed the slave in a fit of rage.
I
The
mean,
slave's
you
ghost is
say,
often seen wandering the grounds in the memorial gardens in search of the lost child.
okay.
This has led to the speculation that he did not rape the girl, but the pair
There it
had fallen
is.
in love, something that the slave owner was unwilling to accept as a possibility. That's
And
why I
that
said
was
wait, because I knew where
this is
you were going with
exactly
it.
my point. It was like you say, sexually assaulted. I think white slave owner finds out his daughter's in love with a black man and ends up, a fit of rage, murders him dead. So Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Oh boy.
The historic Reed House Hotel in Chattanooga.
Okay.
The Sheraton Reed House Hotel is one of the is is one of the haunted hotels in Tennessee that has verified ghost hauntings in the building. How do you
Yeah, I want to see this verification
The
process.
hotel has served and an elegant these sentences are terrible.
It's
That's
AI,
why I'm
buddy.
struggling.
They
I
have a
can
hard
read, but
time.
like
They
no,
have a
I can
hard.
read. It's just that they're not typed properly. This hotel has served as an elegant place to stay for people since the late 1980s. It has also been the home of deaths by natural causes as well as murders and suicides. The ghost of Annalisa Netherly is believed to haunt room 311, the location where her husband murdered her upon finding out she was having an affair. Outside of room 311, things get moved around in rooms. People see shadows and mirrors. Some people have even claimed to see what appears to be someone reclining in the bed when no one is there. Could you imagine that? Holy
That
fuck.
is a scary thought to me. It's like to see like the imprint of somebody sitting there and there's nobody sitting there. It's like, ugh. That does.
Some
Yeah.
guests
Yeah. That's scary to me.
Some guests of the hotel and former employees state that there is also a ghost of a man and a woman who may have been a prostitute haunting the hotel to this day. Some say that the man's ghost hangs around because he was either murdered or he committed suicide while on the premises.
I mean, I think that we always jump to the conclusion like, oh, he's here because he committed suicide in this building. But it's at the same time, it's like I don't think that they wouldn't necessarily get stuck there. I don't think they're pretty much like, hey, I'm out, buddy. So. Oh
Um,
man.
there's the Lakeshore Asylum in Knoxville.
Which has been converted into a beautiful, fun park. Which so literally like we found this park. It's Lakeshore Park, right? And
Hmm.
me and Shelby were hanging out with the kids, and she was like, I feel like I've heard Lakeshore before. And I was like, yeah, it feels kind of familiar. And I was like, I feel like Lakeshore Penitentiary rolls off the tongue for some reason. And then she looked it up, and like, yeah, lo and behold, like it was one of Tennessee's like one. It was their only like in I guess is Insane Asylum. Is
It was
that
their it
Tennessee?
was it was their
It was a
Arkham Asylum.
crazy hospital.
It was their Arkham Asylum.
It's
Yeah,
crazy
we have
hospital
our very own
DC.
Arkham Asylum
Yeah,
here.
there we go. Okay.
Back in 1886, Tennessee needed a mental institution, so they
Ugh,
opened a East.
you
Hey,
say needed. I don't.
I'm
They.
reading the sentence, bro. I'm just a relayer of
I know.
information here.
I know.
I
I'm
was
more
not
so
alive in
saying.
1886. I was not there when the
I know.
bill was
I'm more so
passed.
just like saying to this article.
Yeah.
You say needed, but I don't know if that's necessarily the word that I would use.
They opened the East Tennessee Hospital for the Insane. Years later, it was renamed the Lakeshore Asylum. People who have gone to Lakeshore Asylum to investigate state that there is a lot of ghostly activity throughout the building. Ghost hunters and other people who have found themselves within the confines of the old structure have heard screams of what can only be former patients echoing around the halls. Strange looking figures have also been spotted around the building and on the premises.
That would be so. I mean, god
So
damn,
that
dude. I
park, okay,
want
so you went to
to
that
go.
park.
Yeah.
Can you see the thing?
I don't know. I don't know where it is.
Or was it torn
I
down and
next
the
time I
park built
go
on top of it?
because we love going. Like it's a great park. It's a massive thing. They got three different areas to play at. They got like a bunch of soccer fields and stuff. Like it's
Yeah.
fun. But we'll go back. But I'll look for the building and I'll go inside and investigate. But hey, family, we're here. I'll be right back.
The Delta Queen in Chattanooga. The Delta
Never heard
Queen
of
was
that one.
once an impressive vessel that carried people around the Tennessee waterways and more. Today, the Delta Queen is a hotel that is docked permanently in Chattanooga.
Mm.
People can come in and see the impressive Delta Queen, stay the night, and enjoy a fabulous time. Some of the guests state that they visit the Delta Queen also to get an opportunity to encounter shadows in some of the bedrooms. Some people find their attempts to enjoy the Delta Queen's bar prevented, courtesy of the ghost of Mary B. Green, who still lives on the ship, allegedly.
Man, yeah,
Uh, the Carton Plantation in Franklin. So again, if you know
it's
anything
like
about,
plantations.
well, if you know anything about Tennessee and its involvement in the Civil War,
Hmm.
um, the the Carnton Plantation has an unusual feature of having a front porch that overlooks a graveyard where approximately 1,700 Confederate troops were buried in the wake of a bloody battle nearby. Shortly after the mass burial, the mansion was transformed into a hospital. There were four generals who died inside, and the staff held on to their bodies so that the survivors would later be able to pay their respects. All of this explains why so many witnesses have seen the ghost of Confederate soldiers roaming around the mansion and its grounds. However, these are not the only spirits said to haunt the mansion. It has also been suggested that the spirits of Carnton children are also haunting their former home since the only two of the five children survived to adulthood. All of this and more is enough to secure Carton Mansion as one of the most haunted houses in Tennessee, but there are yet more restless spirits here. Among the other spirits spotted in the mansion are a young girl who was murdered by a jealous suitor, the family cook who was struggling to let go of her duties to the family, and a beautiful woman with a long dark hair.
They don't have a story for her. She just kind of showed up one day. She was like, she's just like, hey, I'm here.
Um, they have this mansion on here twice, the Rothwood Mansion,
You didn't talk about
Rotherwood Mansion. I'm not done.
they don't have the Brushy Mountain very high, and it's like you gotta because I've heard of the Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary before.
So that other article had the Bijou Theater, obviously. So old theaters are frequently listed on the haunted list. Blah blah blah. The only ghost that has been identified. Like, how do you identify a ghost? Is Colonel William Sanders. He passed
Ask
away
him, say,
in the
hey, who are you?
bridal suite of the theater. What?
You gotta say, hey, who are you? You know,
Hey,
and he
what's your name,
says, I'm
bro?
Colonel Mustard. You know, they got me with a watering can,
With a
and
candlestick.
yeah, there you go.
Other ghosts that are said to haunt the theater are people who died in the theater when it was a hospital. Um, Meh. There's the Bethesda Church and Cemetery in Morristown.
Let's go.
Uh,
That's pretty close. I feel
yeah,
like I've
it's not.
been there, maybe.
Yeah, I've been to Morristown. Um, Nothing too crazy on this one. I don't really want to talk about it. We already talked about the Wheatland Plantation, right?
Yeah, I want to go
Yep.
that. I want to go to that old penitentiary up in. I think it's in Kentucky, but it's the one that you have to be on a wait list for.
So
Can't.
there's the Gwendolyn House in Elizabethton.
Okay.
If it's still there, if it's not underwater now. Uh,
Yeah.
People looking for the haunted places of Elizabethton need to check out the Gwendolyn House. The home has been around since the early 1900s. One of the overall opinions of this property is that it is incredibly scary to visit. People have witnessed what appears to be the ghost of a black dog running around the house in both the basement and in the hallways. Other sightings include a woman in white who likes to stand in or near the windows of the house. Ghost hunters that have been to the Gwendolyn house also say that when people enter the home, a ghost or entity that is angry will scream at them.
Scream at
But
me. You might. You
you have
got.
a whole theory, right, about like why you can't catch this stuff on camera.
Yeah, it's like purely because okay, if I'm going into like crazy territory, right? If we're gonna like escape the realm of belief, right? It's that this idea that these phenomena that you're experiencing are, uh, I want to say like mental in a sense, where it's like a personal thing. It's not supposed to be something that you capture on camera because it's supposed to be something you experience. Be it like maybe it is all in your head, maybe it is a psychic phenomenon that's happening with you and this entity or whatever. Maybe it is like an actual ghost haunting, but like a lot of it's like yeah, I mean a lot of the reason you don't catch it theoretically could be that it's not happening, but it also could be that it is happening, but it's only like whenever you're truly ready and it's like you're not on camera. You know what I mean? Like it's like because like the same thing happens up in the fucking oh gosh Skinwalker Ranch, right? They always talk about as soon as I turned off the cameras, that's when the thing decided to show up. Like as soon as we ran out of battery, that's when the UFO
Well,
dropped
yeah,
down and started probing my
sure.
asshole. Like it's like so it's definitely there could be some psychicness to it where it's like if it knows the cameras are rolling, it's gonna be less likely to jump in and say hey boo so
Hey, boo.
yeah like
That would
because I just like
that would be awesome. A ghost
man
big. Hey, man. Hey, how you doing? Just
yeah
fucking
'cause
Beetlejuice shows
I
up.
honestly like you give me a Beetlejuice style ghost that shows up. That's why I don't understand like Beetlejuice
So you
like
want Casper?
yeah, no, fuck Casper. He's too friendly. I want a ghost that's like gonna jab. Throw some jabs. Like Beetlejuice to me, I thought he was the good guy for a reason because like I thought he was hilarious. Like he's a good. Like I understand. I don't necessarily
Actually, the
know.
bad guy.
Yeah, I don't know why he was the bad guy. Like, is he summoning in? Like, I understand. Yes, he was trying to wed. I think technically speaking, an underage, a child essentially. Sure, that's bad. Arrest him for that. But like other things, like I don't know. Like, why is everybody so scared to?
I think the new one sort of delves into his life
Yeah,
before he
I
was
mean,
dead.
and that's the thing. It's like he wasn't probably a good guy, But I don't know. He was funny. He's cool. I hang out with him.
There's one left on here, and I wanted to bring it up
Okay, let's go.
because
Scare me.
you know about it.
Scare me.
I've had experiences here.
Okay,
It's the Sensabaugh Tunnel in Kingsport.
let's go.
Uh, So I'll give a quick recap for anyone who doesn't know. There's a couple of new people that have
Yeah, we've made
joined the pod,
friends.
or
We've
we've
made
made friends
friends
along the way, right?
since our very first
Yeah, we've been
episode of
fucking doing this for
Halloween.
5 years, so
Yeah.
hopefully we have new people. There is this tunnel. All right, if you live in that Tri-Cities area that I mentioned earlier, you'd have to like literally live under a rock to not know about the Sensible Tunnel, or at least have
Hmm.
heard about it.
I've heard about it, which is a lot.
Right. Well, you've heard about it because of me.
Well, no, I heard about it before you because
Oh,
it was
okay.
like always like a wives' tale, like or whatever. Like it's that story that
Now,
they would always tell.
the thing about ghosts and hauntings and spirits is a bit of a confliction for me personally, because I feel like, so I have experienced several things that are unexplainable, right? Um, but I believe that the commonality of, like, if you believe in ghosts and spirits, then you should believe in, Christianity and that sort of spiritual realm. I don't necessarily agree.
Hmm.
I just think that, I mean, I believe we all have souls and spirits, if you will, and I think that
I mean, we're
some,
energy. Like that's got to go
yeah,
somewhere.
and sometimes it's just, yeah, whatever, unexplainable. Like, I can't explain it. All I know is that I have literally had things happen to me, specifically at the Sensible Tunnel. Um, I've I went once before and nothing happened, but then on this one we were in a Jeep, right? There's four of us, and there's this whole thing where, like, you hear a baby screaming in the distance because, like, somebody was drowned in the creek or whatever that's
Mm.
close. There's like, because like there's a road, then there's like water that runs, right, and then there's like whatever. And so, but then, like, the Sensible, like, house, and there was like murders. He had a mistress, and then the baby was born, so he drowned the baby, like all sorts. Like, can't really confirm any of it. I don't really know. It's all shit that happened in like the early 20s.
Yeah.
Um, the second time that I went, and again, I never went back after this. It was me and some people, and we were in a Jeep. And one of the things you're supposed to do is you're supposed to drive into this tunnel. And the tunnel's not very big, but you drive
Just
in at
big enough for a
night.
car, pretty much. Like yeah.
Yeah, well, it's big enough for one car to go through,
Mm.
right? Now, like, that was just one of these nights where, like, no one was there, whatever. So we drive through, and you're supposed to turn your car off and you roll your windows down, and, like, it gets cold, you can hear
Nope.
people.
I'm getting goosebumps.
Sometimes, like, your car moves, sometimes there's, like, it feels like someone's running by your car, like, all these
Yes. Oh
things,
my god,
like.
that'd be so fucking scary. Just like to see hear somebody panting like
And
in a
again,
tunnel.
I would like to preface it, the first time we did this, we did all those things. We turned the car off, we rolled the windows down, you sit there, you be quiet, and then, like, now, it might have been because, like, the first time we went, like, everybody wasn't serious about it, and so, like, people were, like, making little snickers,
Yeah.
doing, like, or, like, try to jump scare you and shit. So, like, the vibes weren't there, like, you weren't committed, like you were talking about, you
Yeah.
weren't committed,
You didn't have the mindset. You weren't ready yet.
right? And so, like, the ghost of the spirit knows that you're just there to fuck around and not, you didn't want to find out, right?
Yeah.
So the second time, we rolled, whatever. And then, like, again, there's like this idea that, whatever, we roll the windows down, turn the car off, and you just sort of sit there, and, like, I mean, like,
It's just
10
I mean,
minute,
it is a spooky vibe, like it's like yeah,
right, but
you're in a
like 10
tunnel,
minutes in a tunnel
pitch
is fucking
black.
is what, yeah, and it's like forever.
Yeah.
It's forever. I don't even know if we were there for 10 minutes, but it felt like an eternity. And so you're just sitting there, and it's like, okay. And, like, we're just kind of like, we were all very quiet and just sort of, like, looking around, and, like, it was cold, but it was nighttime, it was like dusk, whatever.
Yeah.
It was dark. It wasn't dusk. It was just like, how it is summer nights or whatever. Because I was in college when we did this, and I'd been home, and then, like, okay, like, whatever, nothing happens, and then, so, like, we start the car, and it starts. We, like, rolling is up, and it's like, oh, that's a bummer, whatever, okay. So then we stop to get gas on the way home, and this is where shit is like, what the fuck, okay? Because when we left, it was like getting dark when we went, and then, like, we got there, it was dark. Person gets out and goes to pump gas, and it's like, bro, like, guys, what the fuck? And,
Yeah.
like, we're like, dude, whatever, whatever, man.
Yeah.
And I shit you not, like, we all get out of the car, and on both sides are mud handprints, and it's like someone stuck their hand in mud, and then you see, like, handprints across both sides. I was getting chills thinking about it. Oh, and it's just
Because it's
like
like the
on.
thought of like some unseen entity
Oh,
just like
dude, you
running
can't
their
see it, but
muddy
like my hair
hands.
is standing up, and it's just like those mud prints weren't there. There was nowhere for the driver to get the mud prints. We're all there. Like
Yeah.
there's no time for that to happen. So where did the handprints come from? Where did the muddy handprints come from? Unexplainable.
Yeah.
And like, no, what people can listen. People can be like, "You're lying. You're full of shit." Okay. I mean, I can't prove it,
Yeah. It doesn't sound to me like you're lying. That definitely sounds like something
dude.
that happened. I can't explain
It
it either. I don't
absolutely
know.
happened. Go back and listen to that episode. I told it exactly. Like, it's exactly what happened, and it's just like I never went back.
That's
Never went back.
I would go back just to prove the theory. You know what I mean? But then it's like then you get in the whole
But
idea like if you go back again, it's gonna be like no, I've already showed you once. You've already experienced it. And now
right.
you're here for proof, and like you can't have the proof. You know, you always have
I,
to be wondering. Like you know.
and there's I also have the thing where and I went through a phase, right? I was bullied or whatever, and I was hanging out with the wrong crowd. I never did anything, against the law or anything. Well, I mean, maybe I don't know what where cemeteries fall in, but like I'm not into vandalizing shit. I'm not into like disrupting property. Again, like I have this reputation of being like against the grain and like beating my own drum, but I'm also like in a conflict of like not drawing attention to myself and that sort of thing. But like I remember hanging out with these dudes. These dudes, by the way, are the same people that basically kept me alive when I got into a fight because they were there and they were the people that were
Yeah.
people you didn't fuck with, sort of thing. And there's a cemetery and we're with a person and they steal a flag and like I don't know if it was my guilty conscience they stole a flag off of somebody's headstone. And again, like is
That's
that
not
my guilty
good. Yeah.
conscience that's coming in and like starts to like fuck with my head?
Hmm.
Or is it just like I don't know. There was just something weird about the whole situation, and like it was a clear night sky. They take the flag. We're all hanging out in this dude's basement, and then like the clouds it gets start getting real fucking cloudy, and then it's like the vibes, just like the just those unexplainable things that happen, and like again, I maybe that was just one of those things where we're just like tricking ourselves. Your mind is
Yeah.
like oh whatever. Um,
And maybe that's the thing too is that like that that energy of like you switch when you start talking yourself into something like that
right.
also can have like kind of like
We returned the
effects.
flag, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah,
We
please.
immediately like we took the flag. It was gone less than 2 hours. They went and put it back, and we all it was like whatever. We just like
And you
went on with our lives after that.
apologize and you say I'm
I didn't
sorry.
take it. I didn't fucking
You all
apologize.
have to because you're
I didn't do
friends.
fucking
Like,
shit,
hey, we're
Jacob.
sorry about this, guys. I didn't do
I was like,
fucking shit.
don't haunt me, ghost. But also, there's the one too. Like I'll tell it again. I'll wrap it up. But like,
I
when I
got one story too, like from my
when I
childhood
was
that I
in
just remembered.
when I was in college, and I was saying my roommate, like, I always get real weirded
This
out
is
when I
my
tell this too.
favorite story.
It's
I
it's
love
fucking
it.
it's weird, man. Because like even in my house, dude, and we've talked about it because I know that like
There's been some weird shit that
there's
has
some weird
happened.
shit in this
Yeah,
house too,
there
dude.
is
And like
absolutely.
I came up like speaking of like I'm not afraid of the dark. I'm 35 years old. I'm not afraid of the dark.
I fucking am.
But I will tell you this. Last night, I took the dog's collars off when they were like I was wrestling around with like Walter and stuff. And like I took and every time you take a dog's collar off, they always have to smell it, right? So I
Yeah.
set it over there. I walked downstairs, brushed my teeth, and doing all that. And then I was like, fuck, I left their collars upstairs. And Christine was like, well, can you go get them? Because I don't like letting them out at night. I was like, okay. And like when Zoe was little, she had an imaginary friend named Harry,
Oh, I fucking
right?
remember Harry.
You
Yeah.
remember Harry? Like he just doesn't exist anymore. And that's part of that thing too, where like cats and children see their eyes aren't
Yeah.
developed all the way. So and my whole theory is they see on this ethereal plane or whatever. I don't, and like she's never seen Harry Potter. She'd never heard the name Harry in her life. So like, where did that come from?
It's
Anyways,
because like she's literally what she sees is like a hairy entity, aka a shadowy figure, and she
maybe,
like in her brain, the only thing she can equate it to is like, oh, it's really hairy.
yeah,
You're really hairy. I'm gonna
yeah.
call you Harry.
But like, there's that whole thing. But like, there's been messages. Well, I've been sending you a voice message where like weird shit happens, and I'm like, what the
Yeah.
fuck is that? But all that to say is like, I had to come upstairs last night, and like, I didn't turn any lights on, and I felt uneasy.
And it's like
But
then it's like
but
okay, are you talking yourself into that? Is that
right,
like because that's what I get
because
into.
then I'm like, I'm gonna pick these up, and I'm gonna turn, and there's gonna be a creature right in front of me.
Nope, I can't do that because I get in those thoughts patterns
Right.
and I start like washing my hair. I'm like, as soon as I get done washing my hair, I'm gonna open my eyes. There's gonna be a fucking witch right in front of me. She's gonna be screaming in my face. It's like not necessarily like she's gonna kill me. It's just gonna she's gonna scare the fucking shit out of me, and I don't
Yeah,
want that to
literally.
happen. Like, yeah, and I'm gonna shit in the, the shower. I'm gonna like, stomp it down the drain. It's gonna be really embarrassing.
Don't do
Okay.
that. Anyways, my story in college. I lived in an apartment. This is my sophomore, junior year. Can't remember which. When you walk into this apartment,
Hmm.
there is the living room. Then there's like a brief hallway, but then there's my roommate. His room was here. Kitchen was here. No one can see my hands. But there's a hallway, and then there's my room, and there's a room across from mine. But the one that was across from mine had a door in the back,
Hmm.
right? And so we had a revolving door of roommates. And it was me, he and I were the constant. And the way that we had it set up was like, it, weirdly enough, and even in these apartments, some of them had mirrors at the end of their hallway. Some of them had mirrors over their beds.
That's I mean like
That's weird
okay.
to me.
I mean
It's weird
yeah.
to me.
I think it's a whole sex thing, but it's like you want to see yourself banging or whatever, and it's like cool, whatever you want to do, I
I
guess.
guess,
But
but
it's
like,
like I don't want it to follow me in the middle of the night, cut my head off. But you do
there's
you,
that.
buddy. You know.
But I was watching TV, right? And the TV is setting right here. And then I'm laying on the couch. And so I'm facing the TV. The hallway's to my left for anyone that's listening.
Okay.
Always on my left. The door to go out into the parking lot is to the right. So I'm watching it. It's late at night. My roommate is in his room, probably jerking off on webcams, whatever he's doing. I don't know what he's doing. And so like I'm watching TV, and initially I see like this movement in the left eye, and I'm like, oh, that's just like the reflection of the TV off of the mirror because that's
Yeah.
weird, right? Now again, I want to say that the door across from mine is always closed if someone's not in there, right? So then like I'm sitting here, I'm watching, and it looks as though a black shadowy figure runs from my room. I get chills talking about it, across the hall into the other room. I got chills thinking about it, dude, every time I talk about it. And so I'm like, well, that's weird, right?
No need to investigate that. That looks weird.
I'm just, but again, in my head, I'm like, okay, that's just like the reflection of the thing. But like at this point, it's like I'm vibing out. I'm like at a alert level of like 1 or 2. I'm now at like a 4. I'm just like, that's kind of weird. Like I saw it twice because it was like they ran across to my room and then back to the other
Yeah.
room, right? So okay, whatever. As and then like I kind of, again, it's like the mental thing where I'm like aware of it now, but like nothing, like I don't see anything else, nothing, whatever. And I go back to my room, door's open across the hall. Why is that door open? I'm like, that's strange. Okay. I close it. I'm like,
Hmm.
whatever. Wind
Lock it
blew it,
up.
whatever.
Yeah.
And I go to bed, I brush my teeth, do all that stuff. Now, I don't know about you. I didn't have a frame. I just had a box mattress and then my mattress on top. That's how I
Okay. Yeah.
slept.
I mean that's fine. Yeah. It's a college room. Like yeah, it's a college
Yeah, I
bed.
mean,
Yeah.
I didn't want to like bust my toe or whatever.
That's yeah. Because how
Because
often actually do smash my toe all the time on my bed
all the
frame.
time on mine at home.
My kneecap
Anyways,
too. Oh god, it
now
hurts so bad.
again, I am a deep sleeper. You know this. It's very much very
Hmm. Hmm.
what's the
We've
word?
discussed it before on the pod. Yeah,
Yes,
how
I
like
am
your family could have a home intruder and it would take a
I
few
think
gunshots before you wake up. Yeah.
the older I get, the less deep that sleep becomes now.
Hmm.
I don't know if it's like a fear of not waking up. I don't know.
I mean,
I
honestly,
don't
like
know.
fucking take me. You
Subconscious.
know, like
Yeah. But ever since Zoe was born, like that sort of dissipated. And I think when she was a baby, like I would sleep through some of the stuff just because I was so fucking tired.
yeah,
Like so
naturally.
fucking tired. But like now, like Zoe, when she comes down at night, she'll like knock on the door real lightly and it
Hmm.
wakes me up now.
Scary, but yeah.
Sometimes the dogs bark, sometimes they don't. But like, and but there's also times where I think like a couple nights ago she came down. I had no idea that Christina got up. I had no idea that Christina left. I just like it just depends on the night, whatever. All that to say is like I'm sleeping, and again I am a hot sleeper. Like I'm just like a furnace, bro. And I'm sleeping and whatever, and I wake up in the middle of the night, fucking freezing cold, It feels like it's that same situation that you tell yourself, don't open your eyes, they can't see you.
Yeah.
If you don't open their eyes, they can't see you. And I swear on everything that it felt like someone was over my body, staring at me and like almost breathing on me.
Oh my god.
And I just remained still
Because
because
it's
it's
like,
like,
what do you do? Like, you throw
because like,
punches, and it's like, what if they have a gun or a knife? You know, like that's my
but
thinking
then
about it.
like, what do you do in that situation?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, if you are dead asleep, if you're in the middle of your sleep, and then, but then it's like, okay, well, maybe I just fucking psyched myself out over that whole shit. And I just woke up in the middle of the night and fucking manifested this thing in my head.
Yeah, it's a told
I
by
don't
now.
think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think that there was just something weird that night going on, and that like just the something like there was a fucking spirit just running around somewhere.
Oh
Why it was in
man,
our house, I don't know. But like
just that
I
thought, because like I've had that happen to me once before that I can remember, where like the feeling of, I'm a very light sleeper.
hmm
So I was like, we were staying at a friend's, like, me and a couple of friends hanging out. We were gonna play paintball the next day, and like we're staying in his. I'm sleeping in like his bed. He's hanging out beside me or whatever. He's sleeping. He's snoring away, and like I hear I hear like the door open, and I'm like, I'm pretending to be asleep. It don't matter what, I'm gonna be asleep, right? And it's just, I feel somebody literally sit on the foot of the bed, and then I hear like right next to my ear, like I hear literal like breathing right next to my ear,
maybe it
and
was
I
your
was like,
brother.
hey, maybe it was somebody fucking with me. Like it was four friends hanging out. Like yeah, there's probably somebody fucking around, but it's like that. I don't know, man. I was just like, I'm gonna be asleep. I'm not gonna get spooked. I'm just gonna stay asleep. Uh, but goddamn, dude, like ugh.
For the longest time, I wanted to do what sort of like what you're talking about. Like I want to go somewhere. I want to experience this, but I don't think I could handle it. I don't think I could do it.
I think I gotta try.
I
You
mean,
know
I think you should go. I'm not going with you.
why not? You gotta go. You gotta be
I
my
don't think I could.
rock, dude. You gotta be
Dude, I
there.
don't think I can do it. I don't
Okay,
think I can do it. I don't.
you
I don't
go
know.
with me, but you're there outside of the building. You're sleeping in the
I'm not fucking
safest
hanging out
room.
by myself outside. It's where people get murdered, bro.
Okay, well, you don't have to be outside. You can be with the TV crew, like while I'm sitting there doing a solo sesh or
Because like I
something.
used to watch Ghost Hunters all the time, and I'm like, I could do that. But
Yeah,
like, I could do that if I'm with someone at all times. Because I don't. I have a problem with trust. And my immediate thought is someone's gonna. If I go with somebody and they leave me in a room, they're gonna lock me in. I'm gonna have a fucking
that is a
terror
big
panic
yeah.
attack, and I'm gonna be stuck there, and I'm gonna go fucking insane.
That's why I think
And
if I ever do go, we do go together. Like I want you to know, like on the record, I would never do something like that because I don't
I
want that
don't
to happen
think
to
you would.
me. No,
I
I'm
don't
not
think
that
you
kind of
would.
person. But it,
I
and I
just
don't
I don't
like, I
know.
don't. There's something, I don't like seeing genuine terror in people.
Yeah.
There's only been one time it's been funny to me, and that was whenever we scared the literal shit out of my father. Uh, God damn, it was
You get little
so.
poopy pants.
My okay. Shouts out to my sister. She had a mannequin head for like she was doing like the hair thing at some point in her life, and she had one of those, and she recorded it. I don't know if she still has the recording, but like I wore a hoodie and I put the mannequin head on top of my head. And like if you were to like look at it in the dark, it looks like a legit alien. It's like a seven. I was like, cause I'm only yeah 5'9.5", but like this head added a good two
Short
feet.
kings rise up.
Yeah, short kings rise up. So I'm like a 7 foot being outside. He just got done like showering or something like that, and like all the lights are off, and it's like the TV is on, so there's still like a
Uh-huh.
light. You can see a
Uh-huh.
silhouette or whatever. And like like he opens the door, and the amount of terror in this man. I'm laughing because it's like I understand that it's mean. Okay, I get it. I'm an asshole. You can call me whatever you want, but it's
It
like
is funny.
but the amount of terror in this man's voice as he thinks he's being abducted by aliens was just like, I don't know why to me, but it was so funny. But it's like also very sad because like you can tell that he was not. He
What if he would
thought
have had a heart attack?
that's a funny story we tell at the funeral. Honestly, like it's just it's one of those things where it's like,
Was this before or after he claimed that he saw aliens in the sky?
oh, this is way before. This is like whenever I think I was probably like just out of high school or something like that.
Okay.
My sister was probably like a senior in high school or somewhere around there. So it's like a little bit later on, but like And that was the first time that I can remember actually hearing genuine terror in somebody's scream. It was the scream of somebody who was about to die, and it was, I don't know. Now that I think about it, it's like it's very funny, but at the same time, it's like it's kind of sad too. I didn't mean to. Sorry, Dad.
Have
Sorry,
you
scaring you
ever
so bad.
been like terrified like that?
I don't think that I have, and I know it's coming. Right? I know that my kids, they're eventually going to get to that age where they want to scare their dad. Quinn already does it every now and then, and there's something about being scared that makes you angry, but at the same time, like I find it so funny. Like I
Right.
don't like being scared in the moment. Like Shelby will do it every now and then.
Because it makes you feel weak.
Yeah, and I get so mad. Like I'll never hit anybody, obviously. I'm not that kind of person, but it's like I get so mad, but then afterwards, it's fucking hilarious. Like you got me, dude. Like that is funny. Good job. But in that moment, I'm like, I'm gonna go break a
There's
stick.
a
I'm gonna go break a
I've
stick in the
seen a couple of
backyard.
videos on like Reddit or like Instagram or whatever where someone literally paints themselves like with black paint
Yeah,
completely. Have you seen it?
I think I've seen like where
And the
you
only
like
thing you
stand
can
at
see
it.
is their white teeth.
Yeah,
And so someone's sleeping or they're on their phone and like all you see and they'll just sit there and they're just like
no,
and like and then like you just happen to see it. Cause like that's my first reaction is to throw fists.
yeah. That
That
was
is my
that was.
nat
I
I mean it's
understand
my
that.
natural reaction. Like when someone's I'm like, like like
Yeah,
I don't know
that is
why.
the natural reaction. Yeah. So
So
I
I don't know.
want to be I want to be scared, but not by people. I want to be scared like that. I want to feel like I'm on the verge of like being driven
die.
crazy. Like for
Why?
I want to
You
be.
live in the real world. You're already on the brink of
I think that's the
insanity.
problem. I think that's why I want it to happen. Is because like to experience something so supernatural that you like you go crazy like the two in the story at the very beginning of the episode. Like that's to me also a little bit magical, you know? Because it's like you experience something, and that's
I
what it's all
mean,
about.
the problem is that you would need to go places in order to experience this.
That's next year. Like we're gonna
And you
continue the
don't go
year.
anywhere. You are a recluse.
We're gonna the year of growth is gonna go into next year, and
I'm not fucking going on location and
we're
recording
gonna
anywhere.
go places together. Okay.
We're going places here soon.
Yeah, but we're gonna go to scary places together too.
I'm just not interested is the problem. Like you want to do these things and I'm like,
They do it for me. You know, do it for
I
me.
but like I'm like my bedtime's like not 10 o'clock, bro. Like I'm tired. And then I'll just get mad because then because like that I can just see it now. Like it's a whole fucking skit at this point. Like we go to do this like whatever, and like we're supposed to sit here, and I'm just like, can we hurry up? Like let's go.
Yeah,
Like,
that
all
is
right,
the
bro.
problem with a lot of ghost hunts. Like it does take
Like
time.
let's
It
go.
doesn't happen as soon as you get there.
Again, it's because of the mindset,
Yeah.
and I don't think I could ever fully commit to it. And it has to be one of those where like you don't. I think the things that happen randomly are the things that are truer than things of like again manifesting
Yeah.
and wanting something to happen. Like again, like I'm watching TV, like well, okay, you know,
And you turn it
that's
off, and it's like there's a
yeah.
silhouette behind you. Like that's like the experience. Like it's yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah. It's about like the genuine experiences of like experiencing something haunted. I don't think you should go out and seek it. Now that I think about it, I just got to go to more places and hope that more things happen to me,
I think you need to visit more places that are reportedly haunted.
and hope that something happens.
But yeah, but then it's like, but like, why do spirits only come out at night?
I don't know, man.